Domi, considering how congested the East it's no room, right, for margin. How big is this game after a game where you admitted afterwards that you didn't play the way that you should play against Atlanta?
No, we have to play in our style. In our style, everybody knows is the opposite style how we played against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta, we make the build-up all the time, long ball. We practice just the build-up, long ball when we are in trouble, and the best way for us is to play short, and after that, when you are in trouble, you can use the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can play long ball. But we have several signs about the long ball, and everybody knows in our team. But if you want to play, I say many times, the best sentence for me is how faster the ball goes, faster the ball comes back, and that is the reality. And it's impossible to recover the ball. I'm happy just for the effort because every single game the effort of our players is amazing. But I'm not happy with the style we play against Atlanta because it's not the best way for us. If you have maybe the right players to play long ball, I don't know, Llorente, Carroll, and Carroll in the Premier League, you can play in this style, but you play with Mitrita, with Maxi, with Gas, with Ismael, and they have another quality.
Yeah.
And we play much better when we play in our style. In our style is keep the ball, pass the ball, and play simple. Play simple means 1-2 touches. And I agree with you. In the S conference, Philadelphia, everybody is there, and you cannot make mistakes.
With Cincinnati, you beat them at home a few months ago. They're at their home. They'll probably feel more confident. But how important is it for you to not only impose your style on them, but to not maybe look past them? Because you could see maybe, NYCFC is high in the conference, Cincinnati's low in the conference, but that would be a big mistake.
If you think about that when you play against Cincinnati, you make a big mistake. I know that in that moment in the MLS, it's not important if you are in the first position and you are in the bottom of the table. Maybe in Premier League, maybe in the Bundesliga, maybe in the league, that means you have more possibilities, but not in MLS, especially when you play away in the tough field. You know, it's a tough field. It's not good for. I think it's not good for any player to play in this kind of fields. But we have to accept that it is what it is. And they have a new coach. I watched the game against Columbus. They play especially 50-60 minutes really well. And that means we have to play 100% if we want to win the next game against Cincinnati. Forget about it if Cincinnati is in the bottom of the table, and maybe we have possibilities to play in 1 month in the top of the table. Forget about it. You have to play the first one with confidence, respect our style, and we have to play 100%. If not, it's very difficult to win this game.
Do you know this new coach for FC Cincinnati, his way of working, his style?
They play, I watched just one game, they play 4-3-3, they make high pressing all the time against Columbus, even when play away. I imagine in the Cincinnati, maybe they would play with more intensity. And it's a little bit different than the former coach in Cincinnati, because the former coach play 4-3-3, but play very with 2 players wide, but in the third line. Against Columbus, they play 4-3-3, but the holding midfielder draw to play. That means play 3 in the back, when they have the ball, 2 fullbacks high, like a wingbacks. And the difference, maybe the wingers play a little bit more inside if you compare in the former coach. But they want to play. They are great. At least against Columbus, they're going to play all the time. and it's good. It's not easy for us. If you think, I say to Woody, if you think about this game, you will win the game because they are right now in the bottom of the table. Forget about it. They play really well against Columbus.
Another week with 3 games to think about, but you also have injuries. Anton not being outside with training
Yes.
today, and you have yellow card suspensions that could come up.
Yeah, it's not easy. It is what it is. Sometimes it's for, I don't know the reason why. Sometimes I accept it's for our stadium because we cannot use the stadium some days. But the problem for us when you have to play against Red Bull, for example, 2 days before you have to play against Columbus. That happened when you have to play against Atlanta in Yankee Stadium. You have a long trip in Dallas, come back here, after 1 day you have another game. It's not easy for the fans to understand that because they want to win the game, and I want to win the game. The players want to win the game, but it's not easy to play in 8 days 3 games. But it is what it is. We have to adapt quickly. Right now we have Anton has fatigue in the hamstring right now. It's not serious, but maybe he missed the next game against Cincinnati, and maybe he's ready for the Columbus or for sure against Red Bull. Alex Callens has a discomfort in the calf again. I don't know. I have to choose the right players and 100% fit, because if not, when you have 3 games in 8 days, you have to choose the right players. It's about physically, you know. Sometimes it's the feeling. If Alex has a discomfort, maybe it's better. We have 1 day more, but I need to talk with him about that, because don't forget we have another game in Columbus against Columbus and another game against Red Bulls, and you know, you say to me, and it's true, we have 6 players, just 1 card for the miss 1 game. We have to be focused in that, because if not, maybe you miss 4 players for the next game.
Because you're playing this next game on turf, are you extra careful with a player who maybe in another situation, if it's a playoff game, another situation, they could play, but because it's on turf, again, you don't want to risk that being a longer injury?
Yeah, yes, that is the reason why when you have at least 10, 11 more games, don't take a risk in the semi-final. I agree with you. For sure this player will play, because it's a playoff. It's just 1 game. It's not last year is 2 games. This year is about 1 game, the playoff, and you have to play. But it's not easy, because many players have fatigue because they play more games than other players, and when you play in the 3rd game, it's not easy for these kind of players. In fact, when you are not used to working in this kind of fields, you know, that is the reason why. But imagine you play against Atlanta in the semi-finals or the quarterfinals. You have to play with the best players. Absolutely.
All right, just one more.
Ben was out as well, right? So
no, Ben
injury-wise, he's
Ben is good. Ben is good. Just we have problems with Izzy.
Yeah.
Izzy, we have to wait at least 2 weeks. Anton has fatigue in the hamstring, and Alex is 50-50.